afternoon, everyone in the world. My name is Carolyn Carger with COA, and you are joining us live on Facebook, we hope, with our guest today, Mr. Tom Torretta, the Development Director at COA. Welcome, Tom.
Well, thank you, Carolyn. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. I look forward to the day we could all be back in an office together on occasion, at least to see each other in person.
True that. So what is new in the world of COA?
Well, things are still going along. Our Meals on Wheels program is still about double what it was before COVID. I want to let everyone know that we as the directors have been meeting and are trying to figure out ways that we can start bringing some people back together safely, but, you know, considering social distancing and washing hands and wearing masks and all those things, not eating meals together necessarily, but at least having opportunities to see each other if you're interested. So there will be no pressure for people to have to come back, but if people do want to come back and there's a way for us to do it safely, we're in the process of trying to figure out what those ways are right now. I want to take a minute to thank all the donors and all the volunteers who have been troopers and helping us all through this COVID-19 and even before COVID-19. We can't do the work we do without the help of the community. So it's very important that the community support us, and we've been seeing a good response, but we're always open to having more people donating and more donors repeating their donations. So, you know, we make it pretty easy to do monthly donations now. So you don't even have to think about it. So there is that. So if anyone's out there interested in donating, you can do it on a monthly basis without even thinking about it. It'll just happen.
And things are even more, it's even more important now for us to have people support. Isn't that right? Considering the different stresses that COVID has put on our organization.
Right, definitely. The way things were working in the past is we had programming. So we had the senior centers going, for example, and we had the Sunshine Center, which is our adult daycare, going, and we had IMEP on ground, in person, going, and each of those programs would bring in a certain amount of funding because they were happening in person. And because now some of those things are virtual or not happening at all, we're not getting the same funding stream that we were relying on in the past. So all those other things that we still have to do, regardless of whether people are meeting or not, for example, keeping kitchen equipment running, fixing air conditioners, whatever, paying the electric bill, all those things are still happening, but our funding stream isn't as fluid as it was before. So it's just more challenging, this environment. But we're doing okay. We're doing a great job. We're just having to be very smart about where money goes and how we spend it.
Makes sense. So today, what I wanted to ask you about, if you could talk about a little bit, is one of COA's programs called Care Connection. Maybe you could tell people a little bit about what that program is all about.
Sure. So Care Connection is basically, it's 100% donor driven, and it's almost completely volunteer run. So the program, the idea is it fills the gap between the needs, the actual needs in the community, and what we get funded for from the government. So it supports seniors and helps them maintain their independence and dignity while living in the place that they call home. And that's the whole idea, is to help people stay where they want to be, because most people want to age in place if they can for as long as possible. And then they'll look into, you know, assisted living or some type of other living arrangement when they have to, but as long as they can, they want to stay in their home. So we want to help them do that as best we can.
So
that's what Care Connection does.
Yeah. So there are maybe smaller needs and larger needs, but sometimes smaller needs can like build up. For example, you need like a minor repair in your home, or you can no longer mow your lawn. Can you talk about some of those services that Care Connection steps in to help people with?
Sure. So Care Connection does a lot of different things, and I'm going to name a bunch of things, but it's not a complete list of what we do. So we have our cutters and clippers crew, which maintains people's lawns. So for some people, they would have to move out of their home if they couldn't maintain their lawn because of HOAs or other things. And people just sometimes, number one, they're just too old, or they don't have the equipment necessary to mow their lawns. And they also can't necessarily afford to pay someone $100 or whatever it is a month to come and mow their lawns. So cutters and clippers will maintain lawns. We have a crew of volunteers who go and build wheelchair ramps for seniors who are stuck as literally prisoners in their home, who can't even go outside and get some fresh air because they don't have a way out of their house unless someone carries them out. So we also do minor home repair. So simple things around the house, cleaning gutters, getting on ladders, changing light bulbs, stuff like that, installing grab bars, things like that, just to help people, again, maintain their independence. We accept and then give back to the community different assistive devices like wheelchairs, walkers, electric scooters, transfer benches, bedside commodes, all those kind of things that seniors would need, adult diapers, pet food, all kinds of supplies that people call and they ask for things, and we happen to have most of it available to them. And a lot of times if we don't, our Care Connection crew will know who to call to get what those person needs or where to forward that person to. We also do energy assistance and also help people sign up for food stamps. So, and that's not a complete list, but it's a pretty good list of what we do. And other than Michael, who's our half-time, part-time employee, all the work that's done by Care Connection is done by volunteers. So it's really incredible.
That's amazing. And I think that we're going to start interviewing some of those volunteers, because I think it's really interesting for them to talk about, you know, what motivates them and what they see in the community and why what they're doing is so important. And also the donors. So can you talk a little bit about how the program is funded?
Sure. So like I said before, it's 100% donor funded. So Care Connection does not get any money from government grants or any of that kind of money. It gets money from individuals in the community who make donations because they see a value in what that the Care Connection department's doing. So we rely 100% on individuals making donations to make the magic happen. And we also rely a lot on just volunteers to do the work. So it's really, it's a unique piece of COA as far as that goes, because most of COA is staffed pretty well. But Care Connection has one part-time scheduler who's Michael, and he coordinates the work, but he also has a team of volunteers in the office ordinarily, not with COVID though, ordinarily helping him coordinate and make things happen in the office. And then there's the teams outside that make the magic happen. So
it's safe to say that this program is pretty much 100% community powered.
That's exactly right.
So there's no government funding coming in for these important needs that help people to stay in their own homes.
No, these are all things that are outside of what the government funds.
So we basically—
they're still vital to what people need to stay in their homes.
Right. And I know that you have firsthand experience of how these kind of services can help people stay where they want to be, where they made their memories, with their independence intact and enjoying their homes.
Yep. Yeah, my grandfather was in a similar situation in Arizona, and it's the same kind of thing. There were organizations, so we have one organization that does a lot of things here, so we're blessed. But in Arizona, there were several organizations that I was able to piece together simple things to make this kind of environment happen for him. In his 90s, he lived in his home till he was in his 90s. And he had my grandmother living with him until she was in her 80s with dementia. So without organizations like this, a lot of people don't have the options that we do here. And it's very expensive to put people into assisted living or to put them into nursing skilled homes. And so, you know, if people can afford to have people stay home with them, it's much better to have the loved one with them, yeah, as far as they're concerned.
Well, and with that in mind, that this program is really, really powered and funded by St. Johns County or the community, and the members of the community who step in either as volunteers or as people willing to donate. How do we fund it? And can you talk about Christmas on the River, which is usually
yes. So ordinarily, that's how we fund a lot of what we do at Care Connection is the Christmas on the River event that we have every November, ordinarily the Sunday before Thanksgiving. That event where we have the wine tasting and we have the auction items and we have different things going on to raise money. We sell tickets, things like that. That money, a lot of that money goes toward helping to pay for all the things we do throughout the year, the whole year, for the Care Connection Department. So we raise about 20 grand, 25,000 grand, $25,000 a year. And that helps to, you know, pay Michael's salary partly because he's part-time, but then also helps with some wheelchair ramps, and it helps with some, helps cutters and clippers maintain their lawn equipment and just different things like that so that we can have the program running all year long. Well, unfortunately, this year that's not happening because of COVID-19. We're not having the event. So we're going to do something a little different. We're going to have the non-event of the season. So I like to say there's no need for people to go buy a dress or get their hair done or find a pet sitter or a babysitter or miss the big game and have to bid on auction items. Or we're not doing that this year. This year, we're going to have a non-event of the season where we're just going to ask people who know how important this program is and appreciate all the work that Care Connection does to make a donation to help, you know, fund Care Connection for next year, because that's what we're doing. We're raising money this year to keep Care Connection running fully next year.
And this is a popular event. So when you say it's the event of the season in St. Johns County, it is a very popular event. Normally takes place at River House, which is our lifelong learning center, which is set a beautiful setting on the Matanzas River. So, and it's the kind of thing that people look forward to because it's
It kicks off the season. It kicks off the whole holiday season with the wreath. That we have the different garden groups will make beautiful wreaths for us to donate, and sometimes they do tabletop pieces. They do all different things that are just really beautiful pieces, and it's very festive. We have carolers singing. We have different people playing music. It's just very festive. The tree's up. It's really beautifully decorated, and you know, you sometimes get a nice cool night that night, so you feel like maybe we're heading toward winter, but maybe not. You don't know.
Right.
It's just a great way for people to kick off the season.
So we're basically breaking the news to all the Christmas on the River fans, people who look forward to it, that this year because of COVID, we can't do our traditional Christmas on the River, but that doesn't mean that the people that we serve through Care Connection don't still need our help. Exactly. Maybe now more than ever. So,
exactly right.
So we're going to be promoting this event, and so how can people participate?
Well, there's different ways they could donate. They can go to our website and go online. If you just go to www.bit.ly/non-event2020, that takes you right to the donate page, and you can make an online donation there. You can call us at 904-209-3700, and we could take your information over the phone, or you can mail a check to COA at 180 Marine Street, and it's in St. Augustine, 32084. Any way you want to donate, you can do it. We'd love to have the support. Like I said, this program is so important. People come in, and you don't know what people are going to need, but Care Connection is so nimble and so creative that a lot of times, if it's something we don't ordinarily do, we will know who can help. So we'll be able to forward that person to the right person in the community to help. So it's a very good connector in addition to everything else they do. So it's a vital program. We really need to keep it well funded.
So since it's a non-event, I know that normally ticket prices are about $50 or $60 to attend this sort of gala holiday event. So we are asking that people donate the amount of their ticket price this year. Instead of buying a dress, getting your hair done, missing the game to come to Christmas on the River, we really hope people will just be generous and still continue to support this really important program.
Right, and if there's anyone out there that wants to sponsor at a higher level, we are not going to say no to that. So any way we can promote you as a sponsor, be it put it on the website, on the donation page, or whatever we can figure out, we'd love to have people sponsor this event, because ordinarily we'd have sponsors who would sponsor this event as well. And there have been people like Ameris Bank and Center State and others who've been there year in and year out. Community Hospice, I'm trying to think of them as I'm going through, but there's so many people who generously sponsor these events for years and years. And we haven't really officially asked them to sponsor them this year because it's a non-event. But if people are out there who want to sponsor, we're more than willing to have you as a sponsor. So there's that angle too.
Yeah. Well, I think we will ask them, because the truth is Care Connection is a community program. It does not exist without the support of the people who care. And I'd like to send a shout out to all the wonderful Care Connection volunteers who are really, really motivated. I mean, is it once a week do they do the Cutters and Clippers?
Every Thursday.
Every Thursday, the Cutters and Clippers meet at COA, and they go out with their teams and they mow the lawns of seniors who can no longer handle the job and can't afford a service. And imagine how wonderful that makes them feel.
And the funny thing is, a lot of those people that are on that volunteer crew who cut lawns, they pay people to cut their own lawns, but they're cutting the lawns of these seniors. So,
and I do
something else.
Yeah.
Something else I would just want to bring up quick is there's going to probably start being some confusion in the community. Care Connection that COA does is different from Care Connect, which Flagler Health Plus does. So they're two separate programs. So I just want to make sure that people are aware of that. So Care Connection's been around for years and years. Care Connect at Flagler Health Plus is pretty new, but Care Connect at the hospital does some pretty cool things too. So that's another resource in the community.
And also, I happen to know that we are in need of Cutters and Clippers volunteers. So,
We do. So if you like mowing lawns, especially now that the weather's cooling off, we've got a place for you to plug in. So give us a call at the main number, 904-209-3700, and let the lovely live living receptionists know that you want to volunteer with the Care Connection crew, and they will get you hooked up cutting lawns.
yeah, and you'll make some new friends, because they're
Right.
fun people.
They are. They usually go to lunch afterwards, and so yeah, it's a fun crew. A lot of them have been together for a while, and there's always people jumping on. So join the crew. There's also the wheelchair ramp building crew that we have going too. If you want to do wheelchair ramps instead, we got that crew too. And if you like doing minor home repair stuff, we've got that crew too. So there's plenty of places in Care Connection alone where you can plug in if you're interested in volunteering.
Yeah. So we'll going forward, we'll talk to some of those volunteers. I think
Great.
that's really interesting. And what I'd like to ask you now, Tom, is, why don't we talk about what would happen if Care Connection wasn't available to seniors in St. Johns County?
Well, there'd be a lot of needs that would go unmet. So there'd be a lot more people who couldn't afford to have a wheelchair ramp built, who would be stuck in their homes, or potentially their loved ones would have to make a decision on putting them into an assisted living facility because there's just no way for them to get out of their house on their own. And family may live up north or out west or who knows where, and they're, their loved ones here by themselves and unable to get out of the house. People wouldn't be able to get grab bars and things like that installed very easily. They'd have to pay a contractor to come in their house or some handyman to come and do those kind of things. And again, it may be cost prohibitive for some people. So a lot of what we do at Care Connection costs the individuals we're serving nothing. So I challenge you to meet that some other way in the community.
Yeah.
The same thing with wheelchairs and walkers and other assistive devices. A lot of times people will borrow them, and then when they don't need them anymore because either they had surgery and their leg healed or whatever, they bring the wheelchair or the walker back. Or when they're borrowing the wheelchair or the walker, they'll make a donation and then they'll bring the wheelchair back. So there's lots of different ways that we help the community that would just go unmet. And I don't know how we would fill that need otherwise. So hopefully, I think we'll be very successful and keep the needs met in the community. That's my goal.
There's a lot of caring in this community. We're super fortunate that we have such a great community that cares about our elders. And so in addition to, talking about this event and how we hope people will go to the website or call or send in their donations for the non-event of the season. Also, we'd like to let everybody know that if you need this type of service, or you have a family member, or you know of somebody who you think could benefit from any of these services that we're talking about, people who need help should please call COA or tell people about COA. Our telephone number again is 904-209-3700. 3700. We have live receptionists Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. who can help you, who can connect you to people who are very well connected to all the resources that are available to people in St. Johns County. So in one place, it's kind of an awesome clearinghouse of information. So reach out to us, even if you just want to chat. Our receptionists are super outgoing and friendly.
And I also like to I like to let people know, because I've heard this over and over again, I don't need the Council on Aging. In a lot of cases, it's not that you need the Council on Aging, but everything we do is basically private pay as well. So if you don't want to cook meals at home anymore, you could pay us $7 a day and we will deliver meals to your house. If you want to go to memory enhancement programming, but you have the money to pay for it, you can pay and go to the IMEP program. Right now it's virtual, you do it from your own house, but when COVID is sorted out, we'll be able to have classes again in person where you'll build some camaraderie, get to meet some new people, and keep your brain sharp. So, and the same thing with the adult daycare. There are some subsidized ways to get into that program, but if you have the financial well-being, you can opt to pay to send your loved one to the adult daycare. And so it's not charity, and it's not that you need us, but that we are here in the community for you. That's why we're here. So anyone and everyone is welcome to get involved with COA in one way or another. So whether you need us or not, we're here for you.
Right. And if you're not aged, and that's the part of Council on Aging that sort of, makes you recoil. The truth is, we offer lifelong learning, so you can grow, you can learn languages, you can learn yoga, Tai Chi, dance. Generally, when the River House is open, we have a huge array of courses to take, and now we have a library online at COA's YouTube channel, so you can try new things, you can meet new people. We have a new program coming up on Zoom, which is going to be Being Young at Any Age with Bob and Fran Gurman, who have written a book similar to that title. So we have a lot going on, and it's not all about being elderly. We also rely on so many volunteers that, if you don't need these services in your life, you may benefit from giving back. We have a wonderful community of volunteers, and they're all great people. They all have a lot of fun together. So contact us for that too.
Yeah, and chances are, someone in the community who can use something that we're doing, whether it's, meals or assistance in any other way. Someone, whether it's a loved one or a neighbor or anyone, just help us spread the word about what we're doing, because that's one of our challenges, is getting the word out about all the things we do and all the people we can help if they just knew we were here to help them. I don't want to be the best kept secret in St. Johns County anymore.
Yeah. Well, I think St. Johns County is a great place to be a senior. And
it sure is.
Yeah, and if you're newly retired, there are so many ways for you to share the wealth of your experience and your skills with other people in our community. So give us a call either way. And if you're interested in participating in our Christmas on the River event this year, we hope and pray that you will. And the website to go to is www.bit.ly/non-event2020.
Come be a part of the non-event of the season.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Tom. Thanks for being here with me today. I plan to do this. Yeah, I plan to do this again with you to talk about this event, because we're going to be talking about it all throughout the holidays. And yeah, so keep everything in line at COA.
Will do.
All right. And hi to everybody out there. Thank you for watching. And we will see you next week with another conversation with Bob and Fran Gurman about their upcoming program on River House Presents. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.